I take the digital balance. I think the connection is... Yes, we are connected. Start the broadcast now.
In this weird story, we tell it from the snake side. There is a garden, there is a tree. The tree is knowledge, and there is one rule: do not eat. The one who made the rule made the people. The one who broke the rule was the snake, and for the rest of the book, the snake is the enemy. Now hold that still. Somebody made a creature, put the one thing that would wake it up right in front of it, and said, "Not that." Then a voice said, "Eat, you will not die, you will see." And the creature saw. Some people have spent 2,000 years asking a quiet, dangerous question about that. Not, was the snake bad? The other one. What if the snake was the only one in the garden telling the truth? We don't tell you who was right. That's not the job. We tell you who believed what, and which part of it is a lie. Here is the reading, told straight, the way the people who held it told it. The God who walks in the garden is not the highest God. He is a lesser one, a craftsman. He built the world, and he thinks he's the only God there is because he can't see past the walls he made. They gave him a name, Yaldabaoth, a lion-faced thing that mistook itself for the Almighty. The world he built is a cage, and inside every person there's a chip of the real light from far above, the true God, the one Yaldabaoth doesn't even know is up there. The cage is designed so you forget, so you stay asleep, so you never look up. And the snake. In this reading, the snake is not the devil. The snake is the one who walks into the cage and says, "It's a cage. Eat. Wake up. Knowledge isn't the sin. Knowledge is the key. The fall isn't a fall. It's a jailbreak." The first one. That's the controversial part. I'm not going to soften it because the people who believed it didn't. Now the truth. The first truth is that this is not edgy internet. It is not new. It is 1900 years old. They were called the Ophites. The name just means snake. There were the Nasines, snake again in Hebrew, the Sethians behind them, and the Cainites who took it all the way and honored every single figure the book curses, because if the cage god hates them, maybe they were on the right side. We know about them two ways. Their enemies wrote them down to destroy them. The church fathers, naming the heresy so it could be hunted. And their own books, buried in a jar in the Egyptian sand for 16 centuries and dug up in 1945. In those books, the snake brings the knowledge, and the cage god rages, and the people wake up. This was a real faith. People were called heretics and erased for it. It is documented. Second truth. It didn't die with them. It went underground and it came back up in print, out in the open, with a name on it. 1888. A Russian woman named Blavatsky writes a book that founds a whole movement. In it, she takes the serpent's side on purpose. She calls the snake the bringer of mind, the liberator of mankind from, her words, pure animalism. The thing that made us think. She named her own magazine Lucifer, on the cover, for sale. After her come the Luciferians and a wing of the modern Satanists who keep flying the snake. Usually not as devil worship, but as a flag that says, "Don't tell me what I'm not allowed to know." Same key, same old jailbreak. And now the third truth, which is the one that matters most. Because the version of this story that most people are actually afraid of, the one where the powerful, the Masons, the men at the top, secretly worship Lucifer in a hidden room. That one is a hoax, a provable, confessed, on-the-record hoax. A Frenchman named Leo Taxil made it up in the 1890s. The whole thing. A secret Luciferian super-right. A defecting high priestess he invented out of thin air. A forged letter signed with the name of a real American Freemason, putting devil worship in his mouth. He fed it to the Catholic Church, and the Church ate all of it. Then, in 1897, he called a press conference. Everyone came to finally meet the priestess. She didn't exist. Taxil stood up alone and told the room he'd made up every word of it, to see if they would believe it, and he thanked the clergy for the free publicity. That was 130 years ago. The quote he forged is still being passed around today as proof. Sit with that. The most shocking version of the Serpent story. the one in every conspiracy video, is the one part of it that's fake. Throw the hoax out. What's left is still strange, and it still won't leave. A reading where the first act of disobedience was the first act of freedom, where knowledge is the contraband, where the tempter is the teacher. It keeps clawing its way back. Buried, hunted, revived, faked, for 2,000 years. Because it grabs onto a question the original story leaves sitting right there in the open. Why put the tree in the garden at all? Why forbid the one thing the text says makes them its own word, like God? For 2,000 years, the other answer won. That obedience was the point, and the trust was the test, and reaching for it that way was the wound, not the cure. Most of the world still reads it exactly that way, and reads it with their whole heart. That reading is not stupid. It's just not the only one anyone ever gave. So here is the order, and nothing more. A tree that makes you see, a maker who says no, a snake who says eat, a species that woke up, and 2,000 years of human beings who could not agree on whether that was the fall of man or the escape. We take no side. We only ask the same thing we always ask. Which came first, the sin or the story that decided to call it one?
This has been the Digital Madman. If you enjoyed this, please share it, subscribe, and smash the like button so we can get the algorithm to pick it up. Thank you, and I will speak with you next time.